Something's Brewing is sponsored by Willimantic Brewing Company.
Something's Brewing takes us to Deep River. High Nine Brewing is the only brewery in town. Now, they are a family-run business. They just opened right before Thanksgiving. They have a variety of beers already on draft, including stouts, IPAs, Kolsch, and pale ales. Spencer Waldron joining us now with High Nine Brewing. Nice to see you.
Good to see you
nice
too.
to be here.
Thanks.
You're very new, but you have a lot of beers, which we're going to talk about. But first, let's talk about your background, because you said you've been home brewing for a very long time.
Yeah, I was a home brewer for about, I don't know, 10 years. And then I figured out you could go to school for fermentation science, brewing science, wine science in Oregon. So my wife and I moved to Oregon, and I ended up getting a 4-year degree in fermentation science.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then you decide it's time to open up a brewery, huh?
Yeah, I worked at a couple breweries in California and Oregon, some wineries, and then we ended up moving back here a couple years ago and got together with the family and opened High Nine Brewing.
Great. And this is home, right?
This is home, yep.
Yeah? Okay. Well, let's get into it. Your first is a Pilsner.
Yeah, the Pilsner, as we call it. It's a classic kind of South German lager beer. Featuring noble hops, Hallertau and Tettnanger, and it's just really crispy and refreshing. It's all about the presentation in the big, tall Pilsner glass, and people just really like it.
And easy drinking?
Very easy drinking, yeah. Nice and dry.
Most Pilsners are, right?
Yeah.
Next is your coffee stout.
Yeah, we call it Joe. It's bursting with just rich coffee aroma. It's a big crowd pleaser. It's featuring Deep River Roasters Guatemalan. And we just like being able to support the local businesses, buying coffee from them, and the guy just does a great job with his roasting. And
so you could really smell that coffee.
oh yeah, it's bursting, yeah. People love it, yeah.
Third up is your double IPA.
Yeah, double IPA we just released yesterday. It's nice and fresh, lots of mosaic in there. It's a whopping 9%, so you got to be careful and not drink too many, but it's, yeah. It's a little bit dangerous, I guess.
Now, how about the hops? Is it, super hoppy? Because some of those doubles.
Yeah, it's not quite as bitter as like a classic double IPA, but it's not like balanced towards the sweet side like a lot of the New England IPAs are these days. So it's kind of a hybrid, lots of hop flavor and not so much bitterness, but yeah, the mosaic is really bursting with the tropical and mango, and there's a little bit of a resinous backbone that people really like.
Great.
Yeah.
All right, and last but not least, your sour.
Yeah, it's a Kettle Sour with raspberry and pineapple. We call Pank Drank, and people just really like the sour beers we've been turning out. I get a lot of, wow, I didn't know I liked sour beer, but I like your sour beer for some reason. So
cool.
Yeah, all the sour beers are always fruited and have a nice sourness to them. They don't typically contain lactose like you see a lot of times these days for people to back sweeten with, but I think we have one around the corner that might have a little bit in there.
It's funny because sours seem to be just as popular now as IPAs.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they're gaining a lot of ground, so it's nice to see people getting into beer that wouldn't normally drink beer through sour beer.
So Spencer, I know you said this is a family-operated business, so let's introduce who's with you. Your dad?
Yeah, my father and my wife.
And your wife, and they help with everything, right? Pretty much. Well, mark your calendars because you have a couple events coming up next month. The first one is, March 21st. It's a Saturday. It's called Cheers for Charity. What's that all about?
It's a fundraiser beer fest down at the Essex Steam Train that they do every year.
Very cool.
Yeah, come on down and support it.
Yeah, and then a week later, you're at the Beer Fest at the Oakdale,
right,
along with like 60 other breweries, right?
Every other guild brewery in the state, yep.
All right, so look for tickets online for that.
Yep.
All right, well, thanks for having us. This is a blast.
Thanks, glad you had fun.
All right, Something's Brewing at High Nine Brewing. Cheers.
Cheers.